Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you for the third week in the semester. I hope you had a good time to cover up the first two chapters about the introduction to the accounting information system and the other chapter we have it last week. Today I'm going to start a new topic, as you might see it from the course syllabus, which is system documentation techniques. In this chapter, actually, we are going to discuss two key points. The first point is the documents. First, what are the type of documentation we needed for the system? How can we prepare these documentations? And finally, how can we read them? The other key point is we use the documentation to assess the internal control on the system. And this is a big topic that we discuss it in the next class of auditing. But in this chapter, we touch upon the internal control of any system to know the strength, the weakness, and the ways to improve the system. So first, let us talk about the documentation. And as you know from the chapter material, that there are three types of documentations. The first one is data flow diagrams. The second one is flowchart. And the third one, business process diagrams. In the data flow diagrams, as you see it, it's like a graphic description of all the flow of data. It means we don't discuss here any document from where we drive the data, and we don't discuss any process. It's mainly focused on the data. And as you can see from this graph that we have source of data or use of data, and then the data flow, which shows the data flowing from the beginning to the end, and then processing the data, then storing the data, and finally the data destination. So here in this diagram, we focus on the flow of the data and the smooth of producing the data in form of information. The data source and the data destinations are entities that send and receive the data. The flow of the data depicts the movement of the data among the process, stores, and destinations. The transformation is transforming the data from a pure crude data into informative information, and finally storing the data. The second part is the flowchart, and the flowchart is more comprehensive. There is four types of flowchart. The first one is documents flowchart, then internal control flowchart, then we have system flowchart and program flowchart. The flowchart is quite robust system that we use it to describe graphically what is the operation is doing, and we usually show it to the employees whenever they join the department to see what's going on in this department or in this area from one look. And as you can see, the flowchart has different symbols, and you can see all of them on Word. So if you use Microsoft Word, you can see all the symbols with their meanings. We have symbols for input, another ones for processing, another ones for storage, and finally for output. And take your time to go to Word and then start working with the symbols. And here you can see this one, it's the documentation flowchart. And the documentation flowchart, it shows all the movement of the documents from one step to the other. And there is plenty of flowcharts. I'm going to share with you some of them on the course material. But I encourage you, if you are a full-time employee, to start to depict the process of your department on a flowchart, to explain in a one page what is the process of your business. And if you please share it with me, that would be appreciated. The system flowchart, it talks about the information of the system, how it goes from input to process to output. So in a brief, it explains the movement of the information. The program flowchart, it talks about the sequence of logical operations a computer performs executes a program. And here we talk about the different programming languages and how we use it in program flowchart. And finally, the internal control flowchart, it shows where is the control in each department and how can we improve it. Here I explained briefly the different types of the flowchart, and the last point in the chapter is the business process diagram. And here we don't talk about data or documents so much as processes. And it has also very small set of symbols that you can see it here. The circles depicts the beginning and the ending, and the thick circle, it shows the ending. Then we have like the activity, decision, flow, and so on. And here I have a very small the business process diagram that shows, like the process of from accepting a new employee until we pay him the salary and so on. So we give him orientation, then we prepare his payroll and so on. So this is what we are going to discuss it in this chapter. I find it very interesting, and I hope you get a chance to do your flowchart and share it with me. Wish you good luck in this week, and hope to catch up later. Thank you. Bye-bye.